Hello, friends. Today, we want to solve more questions on the previous topic, that is solving problems involving basic equations. And today is volume 2. And so as a continuation, let's look at some salient points that we need to note in addition to what we did the last time. So 1, 3 consecutive integers, A being the least, are written as. So if I have 3 consecutive numbers and I want to write them in such a way that they will follow each other, then first I want to pick an example like this, so that if I have 2, I can write 3, I can write 4. So let me express it. So I have 2, and then this will be 2 plus 1, and then this will be 2 plus 2. So it means that the constant number here is my 2, and I kept on adding 1 and 2 as well. And so in place of the 2, I put A there. And so that's why we have A beginning, and then A plus 1, A plus 2. So when you look at this, first you can use real numbers to show it, and then you try to split them. So this one is A being 2, and then A plus 1, that is 2 plus 1, and then A plus 2, that is what we normally get. And so when you finish, and it gives you the general situation here. So anytime you are looking for 3 consecutive integers with the least starting, then it becomes A plus 1, A plus 2. That gives you that. So it can be any group of consecutive numbers. So that does it for this aspect. I want to look at the next one. 3 consecutive integers. 3 consecutive integers. If the greatest is A, are written as. So we want to look at how we can also write these ones. And so if I have 3 consecutive integers and the greatest is A, so I start with my A, and then I continue A minus 1, and then A minus 2, because we were told that the greatest is A. So if A is any number, we can maybe make it 5. So let's say that if A is 5, then if I subtract 1, I'll get 4. If I subtract 1, I'll get 3. And so that's how the whole thing goes. So A, and then the next one, A minus 1, A minus 2. That's great. All right. So you take note of that. Let's look at the third thing that we need to note. 3 consecutive odd numbers, the least being X. 3 consecutive odd numbers, the least being X. So here what we are going to do is that let's start with numbers. So we are talking of odd numbers. So 3, we are picking 3. Then the next one is 5, because we are starting with the least. So 3, 5, and 7 are odd numbers. Now let's call the first number X. So 3 is X. Then we added 2 to X. So let's call it X plus 2. Then we added 4 also to X, and we got 7. So this is the general situation. So anytime you have it this way, it means that you'll be generating odd numbers. And so that's why we have our X as the first term, and then X plus 2, the second, and then X plus 4, when you want to write consecutive odd numbers. So kindly look at what we have in the rectangle here. Kindly register it. Now, 3 consecutive odd numbers, the greatest being A, are also written this way. You have 3 consecutive odd numbers, and you want to, so let's pick any odd number. So let's say that we have the odd number 5. So our A is 5. Now, the next one, we are saying that 5 minus 2. So A minus 2. And we know that that will also give us our 3. And then we move on as well. And so we can also say that A minus 4. So 5 minus 4, that gives us 1. So we can get 5, 3, 1. And then we'll move on. All right. So that does it for this aspect as well. And so whatever number that you pick, you are picking odd numbers. And so the odd numbers and numbers say that when you divide by 2, you get a remainder of 1. And so you can use real numbers to explain, and then in place, you put your letters there. So that's why I have our A minus 2, and then a minus 4. That will generate odd numbers for us. All right, okay. So that does it for this aspect. Now, we also want to look at this aspect. 3 consecutive integers, the middle being x, are written as. So 3 consecutive integers. So we have the middle being x. And since we are interested in consecutive numbers, we are saying that let 4 be our middle number. So if 4 is the middle number, then it means that on the left-hand side, we subtract 1, on the right-hand side, we add 1, so we get 3, 4, 5. So if this is my 4, then 4 minus 1 gives me 3, 4 plus 1 gives me 5. And so that's how we generate consecutive numbers when the middle is given. And so that's how it goes. So the middle is x, so this will be x minus 1, x plus 1. That's great. So let's take note of that. Let's move on to 6. Now, if b is also important that we look at it and see how we also put it in. So if b minus 4 is an even number, then the next higher even number is b minus 2. So let's look at this carefully. B is a number, we are subtracting 4, and want to get an even number. And so whatever number that we are picking over here should be such that when we subtract the 4, we get an even number. And we need to look at it carefully. And so in case our b is 6, then 6 minus 4 will give us 2. And so when we come here, 6 minus 2 give us 4. And so this is 2, and this will be 4. And that's why we are saying that's the next higher even number. And so the more we reduce the numbers here, the higher numbers we normally get. And so that's why we are saying that if b minus 4 is an even number, then the next higher even number is b minus 2. And so b will also be an even number, say that we'll be getting even numbers. So take note of how this is done. I want to look at the next aspect at 7. We want to write 3 consecutive even numbers where n minus 1 is the middle one. And by so doing, they are written as n minus 3, n minus 1, n plus 1. So we are using these numbers to show. So we have these even numbers, 2, 4, 6. Okay, now for 2, 4, 6, if we are using our n minus 3, then we are saying that let our n be 5. So if n is 5, then 5 minus 2, 5 minus 3 will be 2, 5 minus 1 will be 4, and then 5 plus 1 will be 6. And that generates the even numbers for us. And so when we have this expression, it is helping us to generate consecutive even numbers, n minus 3, n minus 1, n plus 1. But you can use numbers to help you, and then you bring them in the general sense. 8, if n is any integer, then we are saying that 2n is an even number. 2n is an even number because in place of n, we can put numbers there. In case n is 1, then we say 2 times 1 will give us 2. If n is 2, 2 times 2 will be 4. If n is 3, 2 times 3 will be 6, and so on. So that will generate even numbers for us. Right. Let's look at 9. If n is an integer, then 2n plus 1 is an odd number. So over here, the moment we add 1 to an even number, we get an odd number. And we generated that in number 8. So 2n plus 1 is an odd number. So when n is 1, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, 3. When n is 2, 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5, odd number. When n is 3, 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. And so that will help us to generate our odd numbers. Let's look at the 10th one. If the sum of 2 numbers is x, and one of them is 7, then the other is found this way. So we want to see how we can find that. We've been given 2 numbers, and we are saying that the sum of the 2 numbers will give us x. So the result is x. And one of the numbers is 7. So let's say that the other number is y. So y plus 7 will give us x. Now we want the value of y, which is the other number. So we make y the subject by subtracting 7 from both sides. So the other number will be x minus 7. The other number will be x minus 7. So we take note And so that is how we normally translate, word problems into mathematical expressions. The whole of this sentence up to 7 has been expressed in this form. Y equals x minus 7, where our value that we are looking for is actually x minus 7. Great. 11. If the difference of two numbers is y and the smaller one is 3, then the other one is also found this way. So let's look at how it is done. So I'm saying that let a be the other number. If a is the other number, since we have 3 being the smaller number, it will be a minus 3 giving us y. It means that our a will be 3 plus y. That is all there is to it. So look at it carefully. And so the number that we are looking for, the other number, will be 3 plus y. Say that when we subtract 3 from it, we shall get our y. Great. Let's look at number 12. A number that exceeds x by y is written as x plus y. So we are looking for a number, it exceeds x by y. So what you do is that you add the two numbers to give you what you are looking for. Great. So I'm going back. I want you to look through it and then master them, because we shall be using them in problem solving. So we've dealt with 1, dealt with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. So with this established, we are going to look at some questions and then we see how we can actually solve them. Good. So right away, we are looking at the first question. So I'm writing it down and then we'll look at how we will solve it. So we want to look at this question. A boy is X years old. How many years ago was he 5 years? How many years ago was he 5 years old? So that is the question. And so what we are going to do is that we need to find that age. And so we said, so if the boy is currently X years today, if the boy is currently X years, so let's write the current age. So that will be X years, current age. So if the boy is currently X years old, then the number of years that have passed since the boy was 5 years will be calculated this way. So years ago, that will be equal to X minus 5 years. And that is all we need. Good. So let's go through it again. A boy is X years old. How many years ago was he 5 years old? And so we look at the current age. The current age from the question is X, so X years. Then the years ago that it was 5 years will be the current age minus the 5 years ago. And so that's how the whole thing is. So it will be X minus 5 years ago. That's great. So look at it carefully. That's question 1. Look at it. Great. We are moving on to question 2. I'm moving on to question 2. And so question 2 also, we'll see how to manage that as well. So that is right. So let's look at the question. A boy is 3 years older than his sister. If he is X minus 5 years of age, in how many years will she be X years old? And so this is the question that we want to solve. So first, let's see how we'll go about it. So what we'll do is that in the question, we saw that the boy's age is X minus 5. So we'll say, so the boy's age is X minus 5 years. So the boy's age is X minus 5 years. And then since he is also 3 years older than his sister, then this is what we are going to say. Then we can now compute that he's 3 years older than, his sister. And so we can look at the age of the sister. And the age of the sister, so his sister's age will be X minus 5 minus 3. And that will give us X minus 8. So let's look at it carefully. And so the boy's age is x minus 5 years. His sister's age is x minus 5 minus 3 because he is older than her sister by 8 years. And so now we need to determine in how many years the sister will be x years. And so we'll let x be the number of, that is, we can just choose any number to be that. So we say that let n be the number of years required. So if that is the case, then we have x minus 8 plus n. And so this is the number of years that we need. You see that? Okay. And that whole thing will give us x. So we need the age of the sister. We need the age of the sister. And when we get the age of the sister, all that we need is we add the n. So we said that let n be the number of years required. And when we put them together, that will give us the x. And so what do we do? All that we do is that we make n the subject. So we shall get our n being equal to x minus 8. So finally, we get our n to be 8 years. Right. So the required number of years that we need will be 8 years for the sister to be x in age. So in 8 years, the sister will be x years. And so we say in 8 years, the sister will be x years. Great. And so that does it for this question as well. Right, so we want to move on to a third question. I want to move on to the third question. So I'm writing that down and then we shall look at it. All right, so the third question is, a man is 24 years older than his son. A man is 24 years older than his son, who is x years old. Find the sum of their ages. And so this is the question. So look at it carefully. The man is 24 years older than his son, and the son's age is x. So find the sum of their ages. So let's start. So what we do is that first, let's write the son's age. So the son's age is x. All right. And then the man's age. The man's age will be x plus 24. Well, that can be seen in the question. And all that we need to do is we find their sum. So the sum will give us x plus 24. And that will give us 2x plus 24. And so the sum of their ages will be 2x plus 24. So let's go through it again. A man is 24 years older than his son, who is x years old. Find the sum of their ages. So first we write the son's age, and we are saying the son's age is x from the question. Then the man's age, we're told is 24 years older than his son. And since the son is x years old now, so plus 24 will give us the man's age, so x plus 24. And we've been asked to find the sum of their ages. So the sum of their ages will be x plus 24. This, the x here is for the son, and x plus 24 is for the father. So x plus x will be 2x plus our 24. Right, and so that is how this is done. Let's move on to another question. So we are moving on to the fourth question. I'm putting that also down. Right, a man is 3 times as old as his son, who is x years old. Find the difference of their ages. And so that is what we are going to look for. And so in the question, we've been told that the age of the man is 3 times as old as that of his son. And so let the son's age be x. So let the son's age be x. Then we can now write the man's age. So the man's age, will be 3x. Good. So that is how the whole thing will be. So from the question, we can see how everything is moving. Right. Good. So the son's age is x, and then the man's age is 3x. Now let's find the difference. So the difference, that will be 3x minus x, and that will give us 2x. Okay, so, and so we shall get 2x for the man. So the man's age, so their difference, so the difference will be 2x years. The difference will be 2x years. Right. So that does it for this. So So look at it carefully. All right. Let's look at another question. All right, so this is the question that I've posed. So in 10 years, a man will be 3 times as old as his son is now. If his son is X years now, find the father's age. And so let me give the explanation for this one. So what we are saying here is that the man, his age is what we are looking for. And we are saying in 10 years' time, this man will be 3 times as old as his son. Let me give you the explanation. So over here, what we'll do is that we need to get the father's age. So we'll say that in 10 years, the father's age will be 10 years plus the current age. 10 years plus the current age. And so that does it for that. And in the question, we saw that in 10 years' time, the man will be 3 times as old as his son. So if the son's age is X, then it means that that will be whatever number or whatever age the man will be plus the 10 plus the 3x. So in case we are saying that that age will be y, it will be y plus 10 plus 3x. All right. And so if we are looking for the age the man will be, then it's the y that we are looking for. So the man's age will be 3x minus 10. 3x minus 10 years. That's great. So you can try and see how you can solve it. And then at our next meeting, we can go through that. Thank you so very much for your time and have a blessed day. Bye.